What does it mean to truly take responsibility for your life? To lead yourself through hardship, discipline, and the unknown? For former Navy SEAL commander, author, and leadership expert Jocko Willink, it's about one thing: extreme ownership. Today, we're diving into 7 powerful ways Jocko teaches us to take responsibility and lead our lives. These are lessons for men who want to stop making excuses and start owning every aspect of their journey. So if you're ready to become a true leader in your own life mentally, physically, and emotionally, stay with me, because these principles will change the way you approach everything. Before we dive in, let me ask you, what area of your life do you need to take more responsibility in? Drop it in the comments below, and let's talk about it. The foundation of leadership, according to Jocko, is extreme ownership. This means taking full responsibility for everything in your world, your successes, your failures, and everything in between. No excuses, no blaming others. As the leader of SEAL Team 3's Tash Unit Bruiser in Ramadi, Iraq, Jocko faced life or death situations every day. When a mission went wrong, he didn't point fingers. He stood up, took ownership of the mistake, and corrected it. This level of accountability earned him the respect and trust of his team.
And for me, one of the most impactful lessons that I learned from war was in the spring of 2006 in the city of Ramadi, Iraq. And it was in one neighborhood of that city during an operation that I was in charge of when all hell broke loose. The fog of war rolled in. A horrendous firefight broke out. This firefight, tragically, was between us and us. The mortal sin of combat and the most horrific part of war. And it was reported up the chain of command what had happened. And when we got back to base, things didn't get much better. There was a message waiting for me from my commanding officer. And it said, shut down all operations. It said that the commanding officer, the master chief, and the investigating officer were inbound to my location. And they told me to prepare a debrief. Now, I knew what this meant. It meant that somebody had to pay. It meant that somebody had to be held accountable. It meant that somebody had to get fired for what had happened. And I pointed out who was responsible for that failure. There was plenty of blame to go around. And I realized that there was only one person to blame for the confusion, only one person to blame for the wounded men, and only one person to blame for the dead Iraqi soldier. And I stood up before them and I asked them one simple question. Whose fault was this? One of my SEALs raised his hand. And he said, it was my fault. And I said, no, it wasn't your fault. And then another SEAL raised his hand and said, it was my fault. And I said, no, it wasn't your fault either. And then another SEAL raised his hand. And he said, boss, this was my fault. And I said, no, this wasn't your fault either. And it wasn't yours or yours or yours, I said as I pointed to the rest of the SEALs in the room. And then I told them that there was only one person at fault for what had happened. There was only one person to blame. And that person was me.
In your life, when things go sideways, whether at work, in your relationships, or during personal projects, ask yourself, how can I own this situation? Take control, even if the fault doesn't seem to be entirely yours. Responsibility is empowering because it gives you the ability to fix problems, not just complain about them. Jocko is famous for this principle. Discipline leads to freedom. While many people think freedom is about doing whatever you want, Jocko argues that real freedom comes from the self-discipline to do what needs to be done. Jocko wakes up at 4:30 every day. Why? Because he knows that mastering the first moments of the day gives him control over the rest of it. Discipline allows him to train, work, and accomplish goals without being ruled by distractions or laziness. Start by creating a daily routine that sets you up for success. Whether it's waking up earlier, scheduling time for your most important tasks, or committing to regular exercise, the more disciplined you are in your actions, the more freedom you'll experience in the rest of your life. Life can often feel overwhelming, with too many tasks pulling you in different directions. Jocko teaches that the key to leadership and success is to prioritize what's most important. Then execute that priority with focus and determination. In combat situations, chaos is inevitable. As a SEAL leader, Jocko had to assess complex, high-stakes scenarios and determine the most critical tasks. He would prioritize the most pressing issue, then act decisively, guiding his team step by step to success. When you feel overwhelmed, take a step back. Assess your tasks and ask, what is the one thing that will move me forward the most right now? Focus on that and execute. Once it's handled, move on to the next priority. This approach will bring clarity and progress to your life. We're building a community for men who want to stop making excuses and start taking ownership of their lives. If you want to become more disciplined, more responsible, and a stronger leader, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Join us on this journey toward personal growth, leadership, and responsibility. One of the biggest barriers to leadership and personal responsibility is ego. When your ego gets in the way, you're more likely to make excuses, shift blame, or avoid hard truths. Jocko teaches that great leaders check their egos at the door. In his SEAL career, Jocko had to work with other leaders, teams, and soldiers. He knew that if his ego got in the way, he would jeopardize not only the mission, but also the lives of his men. By staying humble and open to feedback, he made better decisions and led more effectively. Next time you face criticism or a setback, resist the urge to defend yourself or make excuses. Instead, listen carefully, assess the situation, and see what you can learn. By checking your ego, you open yourself to growth and become a stronger leader. The moment you think you've arrived, you stop improving. Jocko emphasizes that true leaders are never satisfied with their current level of performance. They stay humble in their successes and stay hungry for constant growth. Despite his numerous achievements, leading SEAL teams, writing best-selling books, and running a successful business, Jocko remains committed to learning, training, and improving every day. His humility drives him to always seek the next challenge. Stay hungry for improvement, no matter where you are in life. Whether you're achieving success or facing failure, remember that there's always more to learn. Set new goals, find new challenges, and constantly seek ways to grow, both personally and professionally. Indecision kills momentum and paralyzes progress. Jocko believes that leadership is about making decisions and taking action, even when the outcome is uncertain. Waiting for the perfect moment often leads to missed opportunities. In combat, hesitation can mean the difference between life and death. Jocko learned to make decisions quickly based on the best information available, then commit fully to action. This decisiveness saved lives and ensured mission success. In your own life, don't wait for the perfect circumstances to make a move. Whether it's starting a new project, asking for a promotion, or making a tough personnel decision, commit to action. The more you practice decisive action, the more confident and successful you'll become. True leadership isn't about telling others what to do. It's about showing them how it's done. Jocko believes that leading by example is the most powerful way to inspire others to follow and trust you. Jocko leads from the front, whether it's in the battlefield or in everyday life. He never asks his team to do something he wouldn't do himself. He pushes himself harder than anyone else and sets the standard for those around him. Whatever role you play in your life, whether you're leading a team, a family, or just yourself, lead by example. Show others what it means to take responsibility, work hard, and stay disciplined. People will follow your actions more than your words. Taking responsibility for your life is the foundation of leadership and success. By following these 7 principles, you'll become a leader not just to others, but in your own life. If you're ready to take ownership and start leading, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Together, we'll continue to push ourselves, stay disciplined, and achieve greatness.